Hey guys, it's your girl Alicia, aka Geek XX Chic, and I'm finally back with another reaction to The Flash. This is for episode 18, which is called Pay the Piper. And again, I apologize. I know you're not coming out quickly at all, but I've had a very, very busy time at work lately, so my schedule's been very different since working from home. But we are back. I'm very happy to be back on these reactions and that we have a couple more Flash episodes to react to. So anyways, on to this episode. Last episode, we saw that Eva had finally managed to break free of her mirror prison. She's out there now. She is planning to get revenge, or so she says, on her husband for abandoning her. We now know that he's known that she's been trapped in this mirror realm the entire time, but chosen not to work on getting her out, it seems like. I still feel like there might be more to the story on her husband's side, but we haven't really seen much of his side. It's really been all from Eva. But anyways, she's out, and in the process of getting out, Barry, of course, figured out, thank you, hallelujah, Jesus, he figured out that the mirror Iris was not the real Iris, and that she had to be out there somewhere. He now knows where she is, but he has no idea how to get to her. But anyways, this episode is called Pay the Piper. No idea what that could mean. My guess is that Eva is going to try to start making or put the final stages of her plan into motion. And so without further ado, let's get into this episode and we'll chat a little bit about it afterwards. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Joe? I was really afraid we weren't going to see Joe for the rest of the season. This is really encouraging, actually. Wait, what? And why are you there? How did he know where Joe was? So what we're saying is that witness protection is not worth anything because Barry found him no problem. Okay. Meanwhile, back at Star Labs.
What if creating Camilla's duplicate actually killed the real Camilla? Same thing with Synch, same thing with Iris. Hello? What do you want me to say?
Exactly. It's like,
We have a plan.
not the time.
She's faster than I am, and somehow I'm supposed to stop her? And still hope to God that Iris and everybody else is still alive in a world that we don't even understand.
Okay, Barry.
Hey, you're both right.
Woosah!
You're both right.
Woosah!
If the Mirrorverse is just another dimension, there might be a way to enter vibrationally. Caitlin's still on the mend, so I can't ask her for help.
5?
Right now, I'm gonna work on the artificial speed force. There's no point in finding Eva if I'm useless against her.
Someone's pride's hurt. There, Cecile. Men need time to lick their wounds.
No matter what worlds try to keep us apart, I will always be with you.
Ride or die. White lightning. Who has white lightning? Right, this guy, I forgot. I completely forgot about that from the beginning of the season. I thought that it was just dropped, but is that where he's gonna get the Speed Force?
Those are just cybernetic drones with modem speak. This one was talking. And by the way,
Yeah, it's true.
have protective protocols for this place.
Right? Anybody can walk into Star Labs. Anyone.
Ralph, please, I'm trying to get our friends back right now.
Everyone's in just the worst mood. Like, they all need a nap, some warm milk. Like, calm down.
Well, we need a really, really deep understanding of vibrational sonics.
Great, do we have that?
You mean like vibe?
Not really. Turns out that was Hartley's right-hand man, Roderick Smith.
Just his right-hand man, huh? Somehow I think it was more.
I know I've still got a long way to go, but I believe
Look at that strategically placed pillow.
you might not be able.
So, why don't you just tell me what's really bothering you?
I'm fine. Just
You know, what's really bothering me is that Ralph didn't shut the door. That's very unsafe.
You better stop! Stop!
Close the door!
Hello, Flash.
Ah!
He's using sound waves. You're the only person we know that can stop him. Lives. I don't care. I swear.
The way he said it, really, not my problem, sir.
Even if we combine concentrated light energy with an inert gas
Sure.
with high thermal conductivity, it
Yeah, what he said.
slow down Parker's molecules.
Mmm,
His body back.
delicious.
Basically combine light with helium. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I get it.
Also the humblest as well. No, I've been sick with a crazy woman for almost a month.
Or as you would say, vibes. Oh, please. I figured that out ages ago. That hair, dead giveaway.
Yeah. The hair's pretty amazing.
Well, you could try being a barista.
Damn.
I gave up my powers by choice.
Okay. Wow.
We'll go on 3. 1, 2,
What?
3.
I'm sorry, but we can try. It was stupid for trusting you. Don't ask me for anything, ever. My world is over. I hope yours burns.
Damn. I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be mean, but it's so salty. My world is over. Hope yours burns. What do you want? So, usually ransoms work when you actually say what it is you want, sir, and you haven't done that, so.
I've been working on these all day. You're wasting time. Why?
You don't have to tell me. We're gonna reach out.
Sorry. Everyone is being so petty and annoying this episode. I'm kind of living for it.
I know how hard this world is.
Duh, he's in love with dude.
Thank you, Nash.
I feel like that should have been so blatantly clear. Nobody gets that emotionally attached to a simple henchman. Come on now.
He was vibe.
Yes! God!
Camilla did not fall in love with your powers.
She didn't. She's her hair.
With you.
Oh, right, and you.
You know what he is? He is a damn brilliant engineer who has never backed down from doing the impossible before.
Black women keeping it together since forever. Seriously, where would this show be without these sisters? I can't. No, 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 no. Stop breaking my iris. She didn't deserve this. She's done nothing to deserve this.
You have to trust yourself again.
Ah, the theme of the episode.
I do.
My fault. You're not the only one to blame. I threw the lightning, remember?
I gave him the weapon that made you defend yourself.
And you were also committing crimes. Let's not forget that.
I couldn't help him.
And Roderick did choose to shoot, so.
We need it. We can't find the strength to move forward. Forgive ourselves.
Facts.
Thanks, Oprah.
The amount of like real world name drops we've gotten this season is really, really interesting. Is this mother? Is he letting all of the criminals out? Seriously?
Get a video feed. What happened in there? I'm trying.
No! Oh, he killed them.
Speed we got till now. He took all their speed.
I went way darker with that than what actually happened. Sorry, guys. I mean, that's not hard there right now. Getting real close. Ooh, that's creepy. Oh, come on now. What the office buildings do to you, sir? Oh, that clothesline was clean. Though the white lightning is sexy, I'm not gonna lie. Hope no one's in that building getting stir-fried by all this lightning. Woo, he's smoking. He toasty, y'all. Got a crispy critter on our hands. Smell that? That's hair burning. Take the mask off.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Ew, gross. Why are you leaking?
I'll give you guys some space.
Thank you. It's about to get real mushy and uncomfortable up in here.
Does we include the one who sent him? He couldn't tell me because he stopped talking and started chirping like a broken modem.
So the clones are evolving.
Thank you for not giving up. You gave us back us.
It's like it wasn't for you, but okay, cool, take it. Paragon of love. We could really use your vibrational powers with the window or the glass in the mirrors, but you go off and be with your boyfriend. That's super important. Iris deserves better.
We've all lost so much this year. Our power, our love.
Some of us by choice.
We're just missing one component, and thanks to my travels, I know exactly where to find it.
Atlantis?
Atlantis.
What is she tanning now? Are we trying to get nice and glorious for a husband? I'm confused. But why are you in a cyber coffin? I'm confused. Okay, guys, that was the 18th, episode 18 of The Flash, which was called Pay the Piper. This one was, I feel like this was a little bit of filler, to be perfectly honest. We didn't really move forward plot-wise so much, but we did have some necessary, I think, character development that has to happen in especially a show that has as many episodes as this one. Namely around that Barry is going through, all of them are going through something, but Barry in particular, the losing of his speed has been kind of talked about but not really dealt with outside of when he kind of had his, you know, death of the Speed Force moment, and he was like, yeah, I'm losing my speed and there's nothing I can do about it, and, you know, I'm just gonna have to deal. Let me go back. We've had, between Barry thinking, you know, that he was going to have to die because of the crisis situation, which was the first half of the season, which feels so long ago now because of all the breaks. He had all that, right? We had Barry dealing with the idea that he thought he was going to have to die halfway through the season. Then that didn't happen. And then right after that, it's like, oh, that didn't happen, but now you're going to have to potentially go back to just being human again. And it's a lot. Barry has had a lot emotionally and mentally to deal with. And this episode, I think, was trying to deal with the fact that he does have to kind of actually address a lot of things, not just the idea around losing his speed, but really just rethinking what it is to be a hero. And so many seasons of Flash have tried to somewhat bring out the fact that Barry's superpower is not the fact that he's the Flash in the sense of being fast. They've said his superpowers in particular are his hope, his never-ending resolve, and of course, as we saw this season, his love, right? He's the paragon of love. He's got all of this kind, loving, resilient energy in him, and that's really what makes him the amazing person he is and what draws Team Flash to him, etc. However, Barry is almost constantly always reverted back to heavily relying on the speed and being the fastest, even though he's not the fastest, which don't get me started on that rant. But that's always kind of been where he's centered a lot of his worth. And once again, we've kind of come back where, you know, he's losing his speed. He's having to make very conscientious decisions around how he uses it since there is a finite supply now. This guilt, which I think is very, very realistic over the fact that he didn't figure out that Doppel Iris was not Iris for so long. Like he said, it was 5 weeks, right? So that's a long time. And I mean, I don't judge him, honestly, because even with Iris being in, and I love that they showed him and Iris were mirroring the exact same issue. Like it just shows how in sync and how, like, why they work as a couple, because they really are so similar in so many great ways. But I can see why he's still feeling like I should have seen this. And that would definitely shake anyone, right? If you found out that someone you thought you knew or trusted was somebody that wasn't that, or that, you know, they completely pulled the wool over your eyes, it does make you feel like, holy crap, like, do I have any deciphering skills? Like, do I have perception? Like, can I trust myself to make good decisions? And honestly, in the case of Barry and Iris, the main reason why these Doppels were able to do what they were able to do, first and foremost, like I've said many episodes already, is because these Doppels were not completely off base with things, right? They were based on the real thing. They had real knowledge and understanding of their counterparts. So they used to mix a lot of truth with the lies, if that makes sense. And that's why I kept saying with the arguments that Barry and Siri, we'll call her that, had together, the reasons that they were so effective on Barry for so long was because she told it just enough truth in there to take away the doubt that it could really be that person. And again, also, even though it's the Flash first, no one would ever think that someone was a complete doppel living their life, especially after the multiverse was gone, right? That just wouldn't be something that they'd be thinking of. So it really wasn't so far off that Barry was fooled by Siri for so long, and that, you know, Camilla and Allegra were not seeing who that was, because there was enough truth in there and enough similar behaviors that there wasn't enough to really throw up massive red flags. There were some, as we saw Joe and Barry talking about, which again, just before we go back into that, seriously, Barry knows where Joe is? What kind of witsec is this? This is terrible. But I mean, come on, security at the Star Labs has been crap for 6 seasons, so this doesn't surprise me. Digressing. So even with Joe and Barry having that conversation, like, they did see things. There were things that they thought were off, and I said that also in a lot of the previous episodes about how their gut was telling them that there was just a little something off, but it just wasn't enough to delve into, and especially because so much more was going on. I'm sure if things were chill and they were living a mundane life, it probably would have been far more glaring. But all that aside, I love that, you know, there is a real, as I said, mental process there of both Barry and Iris wondering why they were able to be snowed, or whether or not that means they should be in charge of anything because they couldn't see through these facades. Both Barry and Iris have the same quality of believing that they see the best in people. They believe that there's good in everyone. They don't want to believe that anyone's truly evil to the core. And even though they definitely have people that they have a lot of hate for, they still don't believe that those people are completely beyond redemption. And in the case of Eva, if we talk about Iris for a second, her trusting Eva was because Eva wasn't always lying, right? Eva wasn't always pulling the wool over Iris's eyes. She is literally crazy. Like, we've seen that as poor Iris is starting to feel the effects. Eva has lost her mind to some degree. Not also, her love for her husband is real. Her desire to get out of the mirror is real. All of those things were not based in falsehood. The real thing she lied about was the fact that she did know that she was a meta, you know, her actual subplot, right? That was the biggest lie that she had out there. But almost everything else that Eva did was authentic. And Iris was picking up on that, you know, the behaviors, the scratching, the freakouts, like that was all very real. So again, I think if Eva had been completely trying to put on a show, Iris would have picked up on it a lot sooner. But there was real Eva intertwined with the calculating, manipulative stuff that she was doing as well. So, and honestly, why wouldn't she, right? I think Eva's story is still sad, despite the fact that she's doing crazy stuff. Her situation is really screwed up, and it is very sad. And again, Iris is someone who likes to help people. She's got a natural sense of empathy. So yeah, her believing Eva was not because of a lack of deductive skills by any stretch. It was just her having faith that this person was a good person and a victim. And she is in some ways. And in Barry's case, who doesn't trust their wife complicitly? Like, that's the sign of a really good marriage, that he really trusted his wife implicitly, even if things were a little bit off here and there. He didn't want to go to a space of not trusting Iris or not believing her. That's usually the beginning of an end of a relationship, right? So anyway, all that aside, as I said, very real that Barry would start to question whether or not he should be still leading Team Flash or doing anything to help people if he can't even deduce something like this wasn't his wife. But as we saw, Team Flash was an absolute mess. When Barry is not on point and Barry's not centered, the ripple effects go through Team Flash. And I really liked also that this whole episode is very couple-centric as well. We have a bunch of people there that have been separated from their significant others, with the exception of Allegra, who doesn't have a significant other that we know of. So everyone's feeling this sense of loss and sense of being off kilter since the people that they rely on so much have been separated. And the message, of course, underlying being that even if it turned out to be permanent, like even if they weren't able to get Hartley's partner back, even if, God forbid, you know, Iris and Camilla and all them were gone, life has to go on, right? You have to find what makes you you. And even though Barry and Iris are the ultimate, and I love them and I never want them to break up, they are still two individuals. And it's important when you're in a relationship to know that while your partner is supposed to be there and help you and definitely complement and enhance your life, they're not your life. Right? You still are your own person with your own amazingness and stuff to contribute that doesn't have anything to do with them. I thought that was an interesting theme. Very, like I said, very character-centric in this particular episode. We have the return, of course, of Godspeed, which, like I said, I'd forgotten about that because that was one way back in episodes like 2 or 3 was the last time we saw anything about them. So I had completely forgotten about them, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if that's something they're going to be bringing in for season 7, or if that's going to be a catalyst for Barry, again, creating his own Speed Force. I'm not sure yet, but I'm okay with them. If they don't mention this Godspeed doppelganger thing again until the end of the season, I'd be happy because we still have a lot to deal with getting Iris and everybody else back out of the mirror dimension. And of course, stopping Eva, which we still have no idea what she's fully capable of yet. So, of course, as I said, Iris, I touched on her earlier already, but seeing that she is breaking down mentally, and that is really freaking me out. There are going to be repercussions to this long separation between the West Allens, but also the effect that, you know, this place is having on Iris. And so the writing has been really good and like thorough this season. And so if it continues like that in season 7, I do think we're going to see more of Iris and Barry dealing with the after effects of this separation. But it doesn't mean it has to be the end of them by any stretch. It goes with my belief system that you do not need to introduce the idea of unfaithfulness or cheating to give a couple drama to deal with. And I know a lot of writers, that's why they do that. That's why they introduce the horrible idea of cheating or one partner being tempted away from the marriage because they think that marriage is boring. It doesn't look good on screen. Well, you don't always have to make that the thing that causes the drama in the marriage. Marriage is hard enough as it is, just being a human in this world. And so, yeah, this is going to be some good fodder, I think, for Barry and Iris to keep dealing with as they, you know, go through their marriage, which, let's face it, has never been smooth sailing. Only other small thing that happened this episode is they're clearly getting ready to send Danielle off for a while. I don't know when she's due, but I have to think that she's probably pretty close right now. And the show would have probably wanted to send her off long before she's like right before her due date. So they're obviously preparing for Caitlin/Snow to be gone for a minute on the show. And we saw that with her and Ralph and Frost. There's not much to talk about with that. I feel like it was just put in the episode in order to prepare audiences for not seeing her for a long period of time. Yeah, I am still excited to see. I know there's one more episode that I've got here, so I will be recording that very shortly. So thank you so much for watching along with me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really apologize for the delay, and the next episode will be coming very, very soon. And if you like this video, guys, please click like, and if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!